Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Gurave Namaha.
As we celebrate the 50th anniversary of the founding of Navayug School, our hearts are overflowing with memories, each one more vivid and precious than the previous. It was here where we developed our character and our attitudes, where we learned our most valuable lessons and made friends for life. The most important reasons for the success of Navayug's mission were its principals, its teachers, and its staff. They welcomed 11-year-olds from every walk of life and transformed them into not only leaders and professionals, but worthy citizens with a deep sense of obligation and commitment to the world. So, dear friends, we invite you to join us on this nostalgic journey down memory lane. And please continue to add to this living journal of our journey together through navayug.com.
A trip down the memory lanes of school. I remember my school days as some of the happiest days of my life. The teachers were compassionate and caring and went above and beyond to help us. Our school was always a safe and welcoming place. The lunch break was always a bustling time with chatterers standing in every corner. We used to sing grace before we started our meal, I remember. Being able to bond with so many people from diverse backgrounds was an experience in itself. After lunch, we would often sit in a circle at the back of the class and chat leisurely. Ah, golden times.
To see where the Navayugians have reached, how they have contributed to the society, how their positive and generous attitude has made this world a better place, is a testimony to the success of the experiment that was started 50 years ago. Through the dint of the vision and hard work of our principals, our teachers, the staff, and a few political leaders of that time, a seed was sown that flowered into thousands of worthy citizens of our nation and the world. You have to be a Navayugian to realize how deeply the 7 years spent in the hallowed corridors of this school altered your thoughts and your lives so completely, and created relationships with your teachers and your fellow students so deep that they thrive even today. Not a day passes when you don't experience a part of your life that was impacted by some moment so many years ago at this school.
Tvamekam jagat-kartri patri prahartri Tvamekam param nishchalam nirvikalpam Sarve sukhina santu Sarve santu niramaya Sarve bhadrani pashyantu Ma kaschid dukha bhave. आती है दुआ बन के तमन्ना मेरे जब पे काम गरीबों की हिमायत करना, दर्दमंदों से ज़ईफ़ों से मोहब्बत करना, दर्दमंदों से ज़ईफ़ों से मोहब्बत करना, लब पे आती है दुआ। मेरे अल्लाह बुराई से बचाना मुझको।
50 years of Navayug, and this is my chance to thank my teachers. I can't thank all the teachers because everybody had one of the biggest impact on my life. I will particularly write about two of them who had some of the greatest influence on my life. What I want to emphasize here is that it nurtured my soul in many, many ways, but three of them stand out to me. First, it taught me Spardha. There is no equivalent word of that in English. The closest what comes to it is healthy competition. I feel still proud when my classmates excel in their life, do much better than anybody else. So Spardha was one thing which I learned in the school. Second, all-around development. Teachers invested in you and your life, not only in education, but also on your overall development. I never stood on the stage when I came to the school, but after that, the training which I got there, the competitive spirit, the Spardha which I learned in the school was phenomenal. And finally, the kind of friends and colleagues I had in the school was phenomenal. All of them have excelled in their life, but they all stand with a common bond of Navayug school. You go to any place in the world, if you say Navayug, you will get support. Eventually, what you remember the most about a school is the fragrance which you get. I still remember the beautiful smell which I used to get in the school, especially in the winters, coming late to the school for annual festivals. I never saw our school not clean. It was so nice. Thank you all my teachers. You have made me who I am today.
I am grateful for the time I spent in school and I will always cherish it. The teachers and staff at my school made a real difference in my life, and I'll always be thankful for the lessons I learned. Two of my favorite teachers were Mrs. Seni and Mrs. Sambi, my English teachers who had a way of making even the most boring literature come to life. I'll never forget the way they would act out various scenes from the books we were reading with different accents and facial expressions. They truly made learning fun. Another teacher who had a big impact on me was Mr. V.K. Sethi, my maths teacher. He was known for being a bit strict, but I always appreciated his clear explanations and the way he always made sure that we understood the concepts. I use some of the problem-solving techniques he taught me to this day. Mr. R.P. Sharma, my physics teacher, was an icon. He fondly called me Madam Curie. Mr. Bhatnagar was always encouraging and supportive. He gave us freedom to come up with our own ideas and instilled in us a sense of self-worth. Oshima Matar, 1986, Batch, Principal, Naval Children's School, Delhi.
भारत की आरती संजोना है, मीठी सी हवा है जहाँ फूलों की सभा है, जहाँ वही दूध मेरे लिए सोना है। मीठी सी हवा है जहाँ फूलों की सभा है, जहाँ वही दूध मेरे लिए सोना है।
50 years of Navayug School. Navayug School, my alma mater, the institution that brings smiles and fond memories whenever I think about it. The school that is not just a building of mortar and cement, but the school that cemented the laughters, friendships, mentorships, and absolutely beautiful memories in my life that I will always cherish. Many congratulations to all the principals, teachers of past and present, and to all the fellow Navayugians around the globe. Congratulations Poonam Lakhani Makhijani, batch 1982. Thank you.
कौशलमती इच्छानुकूल सब कर्म निरत हो वेद भूल निज कल्पी इच्छानुकूल.
I want to go back to school and relive the moments of yesteryears well spent. I am still preserving the all-route bus pass made for 12.5 rupees then. Bus number 750 was our favorite. There can be no better friends than classmates of school. What wonderful people and all the teachers who taught us theory of everything. Mr. Devendra, the legend in the field of education. The values we imbibed have been a great force in taking us ahead in our respective fields. The school has been the cradle of excellence for most of us. It made us learn literally everything and everything. One could not ask for more than this. The strength of character injected during these formative years is keeping us afloat well till today and enabled us to excel in whatever we have done. We were lucky to be amongst the initial batches. Today, when school is completing its 50 years of being, it's good to be around. The influence Navayug had on our growth is inexplicable. The time has moved on and so has the fabric changed. But the name Navayug means everything. Rajiv Chaudhary, 1980 batch.
हो एक गान, हो एक विश्व जीवन महान गूंजे जय ध्वनि से आसमान, गूंजे जय ध्वनि से आसमान. मानव मानव सब है समान, मानव मानव सब है समान.
Enrolling at the Navayug school proved to be a life-altering experience. My gratitude to all the teachers for shaping our impressionable minds and helping in instilling character and strength. Indira Sood, 83.
There would be no Navayug if there was no Devendra. He and the principals who followed him set the foundation and the main ingredients for the success of the Navayug experiment. The never-tiring Mr. Dar took on this task at the age of 72 and set an example of what a teacher, a student, a leader, really a worthy human being could be. We next offer our tribute to him and to the other early principals. Mr. Dar was the epitome of a selfless teacher. He not only personally inspired his students, but he also created an institution, a team, and traditions that magnified and propagated his message and vision. He instilled in everyone he touched a sense of camaraderie, generosity, and citizenship of the world. At 72, he was more energetic, optimistic, forward-looking, and open to new ideas than people decades younger. His teachings and exemplary ways continue to inspire and guide me even today.
हर प्रकाश भर कलुष भेद तम हर प्रकाश भर जगमग जग कर दे वीणा वादिनी वर दे वर दे वर दे वर दे वीणा
Mr. Devendra, there are not enough words to express the gratitude to their Sahib for shaping and reshaping all of us in one way or the other. The man who himself was the apex of humility, integrity, and principles. Dar Sahib, as he was fondly addressed by many, touched and tapered every heart and mind, including mine. His vision for creating an environment for students to not only get education of books, but to get education to build characters. To fulfill his visions were the faculty of all the teachers alongside to help him. To celebrate 50 years of Navayug with all Navayugians, I thank all the teachers and staff members from the bottom of my heart for the contribution to build Navayug. Poonam Lakhani Makijani, batch 1982. Thank you.
It was the summer of 73. A lean, frail boy of 10 had cleared the first stage exam to Navayug school, but due to some misinformation did not appear for the next stage exam. As the son of a government employee at the lowest level of government hierarchy, the whole family had high hopes of getting into the school that promised to provide free education as well as food, books, clothes and more. Two visitors came knocking on his door one fateful day. They inquired about the boy and asked him to quickly come to school for his second stage test. Collecting their wits after the initial mixture of surprise and shock, the mother and the elder sister took the boy to Red Bricks, Netaji Nagar. The rest is history. There was this great man who took the pains to find out that this boy had not appeared for his second stage test and sent the visitors, Mrs. Adar and Mr. Lahori, the office boy, to fetch the boy and give him a fair chance. That boy was yours truly, who was called in by Sri Jeevan Nath Dar. He was a teacher, mentor and a guide for all of us and every one of us. He was an angel investor who invested his body and soul in the school of the gifted ones, with no exit strategy to cash out later, but only to see his proteges flourish in the world. R.P. Pant, batch of 1980.
Mr. Kakkar had big shoes to fill after Mr. Dar, and he took on the mantle with great effectiveness. In addition to running the school as the principal, he also taught physics on weekends to the 10th class students to prepare us for the board exams. His emphasis on academic excellence produced great board results year after year.
After Mr. Dar left the school, Mr. Kakkar brought about numerous transformations. I recall his emphasis on academics. I used to notice how he spoke in the school assembly and emphasized words. Tour is pronounced as tour. I learned from one of his assembly address. I have fond memories of one particular incident. Devendra Negi Bhaiya of 1980 batch created a painting that he displayed in the school assembly, and Mr. Kakkar immediately purchased it for an amount of 5,000 rupees. This was a substantial sum at that time, and I was in amazement. He set a great example for us all. Indira Sood.
যদি সবাই থাকে মুখ ফিরায়ে সবাই করে ভয় যদি সবাই থাকে মুখ ফিরায়ে সবাই করে ভয় তবে পরাণ খুলে তুই মুখ ফুটে তোর মনের কথা একটা বলো রে তবে পরাণ খুলে তুই মুখ ফুটে তোর মনের কথা একটা বলো রে যদি তোর ডাক শুনে কেউ না আসে তবে একলা চলো রে যদি তোর ডাক শুনে কেউ না আসে তবে একলা চলো রে একলা চলো একলা চলো একলা চলো একলা চলো রে একলা চলো একলা চলো একলা চলো একলা চলো রে যদি তোর ডাক শুনে কেউ না আসে তবে একলা চলো রে
I had the privilege of interacting with Mr. Rana through Mr. A.K. Bhatnagar. Though I had met him in one or two of the ENA meets, but did not have much interaction that time. It has been a fantastic experience communicating with him, as he is not only a renowned educator, but also an incredibly kind-hearted individual. Despite the short notice, he was able to quickly arrange a wonderful surprise celebration for Mrs. and Mr. Bhatnagar in Dwarahat and went above and beyond by personally purchasing a cake for them. I observed how he connects with his students at Dwarahat and has created an extended family experience for them. His work in Kumaon is having a significant impact on the lives of many individuals. He is a true inspiration and a role model. Indira Gulati Sood, 83.
हमने लाखों फूल खिलाए मेहनत से पाषाणों में नई नई जिंदगी लाए हैं वीरानों में हम धरती के लाल चल रहे आज तान कर सीना हम धरती के लाल चल रहे आज तान कर
If Navayug was our family, the teachers were our surrogate mothers and fathers. They taught us not only the subjects, but the way we should carry ourselves in our lives. They exhibited undying commitment and devotion, not only to their subject, but to building character, not only to teaching, but to lighting the fire in our minds to learn, not only to complete the task at hand, but to open our horizons to unlimited exploration. They truly changed lives, and we will always be indebted to them. Thank you, our Gurus. Please accept our sincerest tribute.
नाचे खेतों में बाली दिन दूनी उमड़ती जाए अपने देश में खुशहाली 14 रत्न चरण रज चूमे जहाँ भी गिरे पसीना 14 रत्न चरण रज चूमे जहाँ भी गिरे पसीना
Mr. Bhatnagar was our psychology teacher, but he took on many roles at our school and in our lives. I remember so many things that he coordinated, including dramatics, recitation, trekking trips, and more. I was with him on the Haridwar trip. But the thing that was the most personal was the Hindi grammar classes at his home on weekends, where we not only got free lessons, but also the meals made lovingly by Mr. Bhatnagar. His selfless devotion to teaching and his calming and inclusive demeanor has always been greatly comforting and inspirational.
गंगा और गोदावरी देश की सी हवा है जहाँ फूलों की सभा है जहाँ वही धूल मेरे लिए सोना है मीठी सी हवा है जहाँ फूलों की सभा है जहाँ वही धूल मेरे लिए सोना है
Pisai kya logi? That's how you helped us learn spelling of psychology. Your passion and enthusiasm for the subject inspired me to delve deeper and develop a lifelong love for it. I was so connected with Hindi that probably all Hindi teachers thought that I will pursue Hindi honors, but I chose psychology honors. Your teaching style made classes engaging and thought-provoking. I cherish the valuable lessons you taught me. Gems that stand out in my memory are reading several articles from Psychology Today magazine and your favorite statement, we perceive others not as they are but as we are. Thank you, sir, for being an amazing teacher and for shaping my education in such a profound way. Indira Gulati Sood, 83.
जहाँ फूलों की सभा है जहाँ वही धूल मेरे लिए सोना है मीठी सी हवा है जहाँ फूलों की सभा है जहाँ वही धूल मेरे लिए सोना है वही धूल मेरे लिए सोना है वही धूल मेरे लिए सोना है
Dear Mrs. Hora, you have been an inspiration and exemplary in so many ways. Your multifarious interests, your curiosity to always learn new things, to travel, to act, for poetry, and always being adventurous for new places, experiences, and skills has helped me to develop an explorer's mindset. Your kindness and generosity has been amazing. Your work for Red Cross, senior citizens, Rotary Club, and underprivileged people has influenced my worldview. And of course, the home science training. Not only did it teach us some invaluable skills, but also instilled in us the belief that no skill is gender specific and there is no stigma to any kind of work. And above all, your kind and generous personality warms the heart on every contact with you. Thank you. You continue to guide us like a North Star. You are my first Navayug related stop every time I visit India. Thank you.
भज दीन बंधु दिनेश दानव दैत्य वंश विकंदन
In army, we have to do our small repairs of uniforms ourselves when at NDA, that is training academy, or posted at forward posts, especially in our formative years. The training what I got from Mrs. Veena Hora during home science classes on stitching really saw me through when deployed at remote locations. In fact, I used to get more marks in stitching practicals than girls in the class. Peanut butter was her favorite dish, which we learnt in school and started relishing during breakfasts at school. She also participated in the Hindi plays very regularly, which we never missed on radio. Beyond teacher, regular things she taught us to excel in everything we do. Salute her for dedication to creative arts. Rajiv Chaudhary, 1980 batch.
Dear Mrs. Veena ma'am, I convey my extreme gratitude to you for shaping my career and encouraging me to become a fighter pilot in the Indian Air Force. I am so grateful to you that you began my career as a parade commander in the school and later on guided me to join NDA and become an officer. Thank you so much for shaping my career.
Dear Mrs. Hora, you personify perfection in my memory. From your teachings in home science, be it baking, cooking, sabudana vada, and gujia with a twist, sewing, and doing embroidery for the exhibitions, to driving a car, the only teacher who had a car in those days, anchoring events with an impeccable diction, and performing plays on the radio. I'm grateful and blessed to continue to learn from you even after all these years. In the last 2-3 years, your classes on pranayam and shero shairi have further enhanced my life. You are a true role model and mentor. Thank you for being a part of my life. Regards, Indira Gulati Sood, 83.
Brownian motion intrigued me in physics. Mr. Suraj Prakash must have been the best physics teacher of his times. What he taught, one would never forget, including Brownian motion. Always smiling, always encouraging. What a person he was. I owe my understanding of applied sciences today to the strong foundation laid by him through such wonderful teaching methods. I bow to him in reverence with sincerest gratitude and immense regards. Rajiv Chaudhary, 1980 batch.
Physics was my favorite subject at school. The ability to learn something fundamental, build on it, and then apply it to real world problems was a revelation that Mr. Suraj Prakash lit a spark in. His encouragement and enabling our participation in extracurricular science engagements like science fairs was exciting. The yearly Nehru Science Fair at the Murti Bhavan was a great and still a memorable participatory activity. In fact, my daughter won a science award based on a Faraday motor, the same experiment I built 35 years ago under his guidance. His ebullient and jolly personality brought sunshine, Suraj Prakash, into every class and every event he was part of. It was a joy to learn from him. Thank you.
Respected Suraj Prakash sir, I never had the opportunity to study physics with you, but I gained invaluable life lessons from you. Your laughter and entertaining Multani cricket commentary remain vivid in my memory. Our interactions at Takshila House and post-school interactions gave me many learning opportunities. You easily became a part of my family. Losing you to COVID was a personal loss for us. I remember you for your passion and positivity. I cherished working with you on various social causes and the project to document the exceptional work of Mr. Devendra in a book which could serve as an inspiration to all educators. You were an exceptional educationist who touched many lives. I hope those trained by you, the school principals and teachers, can carry on your legacy by instilling the same values and empathy. You are being missed. Indira Sood, 83.
के पत्ते लंबे लंबे बड़ के पत्ते चाकर ऐसन भर देला गौरा मोछ दाढ़ी पाकर।
Mr. Verma not only taught me mathematics, but instilled in me the love and appreciation for the beauty of mathematics. He embodies the true essence of science, that the process of discovery and the process of getting to the answer is as important, maybe more important than finding the answer. The learning and the joy of walking through each step towards a solution is truly invigorating and transformative. Dear Mr. Verma, I give you the biggest credit for me taking on engineering as a career that I still enjoy today. My children often ask me how I still remember some of the mathematics I learned in school, and I tell them about you and your method. Thank you.
लंबे लंबे बढ़ के पत्ते चाकर ऐसन भर गया गोरा मोच दाढ़ी पाकर आम के पत्ते लंबे लंबे बढ़ के पत्ते चाकर ऐसन भर गया गोरा मोच दाढ़ी पाकर
and what higher our school introduced me to your poetry nation. It was so much fun having you with us, not only guiding us but also participating like any other Navayug student and during the making of Navayug. From the practice session in the school to recording in the studio, it was fun being with you. Shad Shad Indira Gulati
Suraj Prakash Hahas Baba ki Mama ki bara lagi karta toran Hahas Mama ki bara lagi karta toran Hahas ki bara lagi Inga rang Rita baja karta lagi Inga rang Rita baja karta Hare hai hare hai hare hai hare hai hare आम के पत्ते लंबे लंबे बढ़ के पत्ते चाकर ऐसन भर गया गोरा मोच दाढ़ी पाकर आम के पत्ते लंबे लंबे बढ़ के पत्ते चाकर ऐसन भर गया गोरा मोच दाढ़ी पाकर हरे हाय हरे हाय हरे हाय हरे हाय हाय रे हाय रे हाय रे हरे हाय हरे हाय हरे हाय हरे हाय हाय रे हाय रे हाय रे हरे हाय हरे हाय हरे हाय हरे हाय हाय रे हाय रे हाय रे हाय रे हाय रे
Mrs. Navate was not only a great Sanskrit teacher, but the cultural soul of the school. Her classes included not only the technical aspect of Sanskrit, but were so much more enriched with the shloks and the recitations she did in class. I still remember some of the shloks that we learned in her class and as part of the Ramakrishna Mission recreation competitions that she was deeply involved in managing. Bhajagovindam, Bhajagovindam, Bhajagovindam Moodapate. She was also the leader and partner for Mrs. Wadhera in organizing the celebration of various festivals and national days. I so vividly remember the Christmas play with the carols named The Three Magi's, where we sang We Three Kings of Orient Are. I remember the Makar Sankranti celebration, visits of dignitaries, and Patel Jayanti in Connaught Place at 7 a.m. in the morning, and so many more. I was so fortunate to be given the opportunity to compare and MC some of these ceremonies and be involved closely with her in preparation of many of these occasions where I saw firsthand her organizing skills. I do sometimes regret two things, both that Mrs. Navate advised me on and I foolishly did not follow. First was having switched from Sanskrit to Hindi for my 10th class, and second, leaving music, sitar it was, for my vocational course in electronics. But my interest in both remains even to this day.
Hare 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 Hare
two laddus at RK Mission was all the motivation to participate in declamation contests. Knowledge of Sanskrit shlokas always helped us to be there every year. And good Sanskrit came from teachings by Mrs. Mangla Nawate. It's due to that strong base one can read Sanskrit fluently today also and understand some of it. The gap has been long. Her simple nature and dedicated approach made everything easy. Om Shanti. Rajiv Chaudhary, 1980 batch.
Throughout her life, Nawate ma'am never stopped learning. Despite her declining hearing, she became proficient in technology and continued to communicate through lengthy messages and letters using her iPad and smartphone. Instead of letting her hearing loss hold her back, she used technology to make a positive impact. During her time in India, she was able to visit with nearly all of her loved ones before departing from this world. She is being missed. Indira Gulati Sood, 83.
Mrs. Adhar taught us a relatively dry subject, civics, but her way of teaching and making it relatable was so special. I still remember her homework for our summer vacation that involved us reading the newspaper every day and noting down the headlines. She probably meant we should understand them too, but we at least wrote them down. A very personal thing that she contributed to my life was to change my name. As a Punjabi, I used to spell my name as Devendra, Davindder. When the time came to fill some official forms and she saw the spellings, she urged me to change to the correct spelling, Devendra, and that is what I've used since. So thank you, Mrs. Adhar, for correcting my name.
Mr. O.P. Kakkar was one teacher with immense energy who inculcated sportsman's spirit in us. We learnt almost all major games in school, including hockey, football, cricket, basketball, badminton, running, etc. Beyond this, many of us learned swimming too. This passion took me to become a lake swimmer in NDA and later inspired me to do my deep sea diving course too. He was always motivating students to be out on ground during games period. It was Mr. Pratap, his assistant, who taught us badminton. I also remember today famous line by Mr. Jayendra, which he used very often during his morning assembly addresses. Battle of Waterloo was won on playgrounds of Eton. How true. Rajiv Chaudhary, 1980 batch.
Dear Ramnivas sir, thank you for igniting my passion for biology. Your kind and patient teaching style, coupled with your vast knowledge, made each class a thrilling and enlightening experience. It was wonderful reconnecting with you after so many years. Even though you were handling challenging jobs with the police, it's remarkable that you still remember so many students, their names, their karname, and even their handwritings. I feel truly fortunate to have been your student. A big salute to you, sir. Or should I say, Bade Bhai? Best regards, Indira Gulati Sood, 83. प्रिय डॉक्टर कौशिक, मैं आपका आभार व्यक्त करना चाहती हूँ। आपने न केवल मुझे हिंदी भाषा के अध्ययन करने के लिए प्रोत्साहित किया, मेरे भाषा कौशल में सुधार किया, बल्कि मुझे लेखन के लिए भी प्रेरणा दी। आपने हमेशा बिना थके मेरी अनगिनत रचनाओं को पढ़ा और मुझे अच्छे लेखन के गुण सिखाए। आपने हम सबको कक्षा 10 में हिंदी परीक्षा में विशिष्टता प्राप्त करने पर जयशंकर प्रसाद द्वारा रचित कमाइनी पुरस्कार स्वरूप प्रदान की। वह मैंने ना जाने कितनी बार पढ़ी और आज भी मेरे निजी पुस्तकालय में संजो कर रखी है। आपके साथ हुई कई चर्चाओं में आपने हमेशा निडर होकर अपने विचार रखने की प्रेरणा दी, चाहे ही वह विचार आपके विचारों से भिन्न क्यों ना हो। यह मेरे लिए एक बहुत अच्छी सीख थी। अच्छी शिक्षा के लिए आपके लगाव और मुझ पर अटूट विश्वास ने मुझे खुद को आगे बढ़ने और उत्कृष्टता के लिए प्रयास करने के लिए प्रेरित किया। आपके पिता समान स्नेह और आशीर्वाद के लिए बहुत धन्यवाद। इंदिरा गुलाटी सूद। Dear Sir, you made learning maths simple and interesting. Indira Sood, 83.
भज दीन बंधु दिनेश दानव दैत्य वंश विकंदनम रघुनंद आनंद कंद कौशल चंद दशरथ नंदनम रघुनंद आनंद कंद कौशल चंद दशरथ नंदनम
Music is the highest form of art which can be created anytime, anywhere, and can bring life to the saddest disposition. Mr. Patak taught us to understand music and play different instruments. I picked up Hawaiian guitar then, and at end of it could play 2-3 songs well. His sense of touch was so strong that he could recognize us by taking our hands in his hands. I met him number of times after leaving school, and every time I felt extremely happy to meet him and spend time with him. He was a great soul. Shat Shat Pranam. Rajiv Chaudhary, 1980 batch.
Mr. Chaudhary brought a non-conventional approach to teaching English that went way beyond just the reading of the lesson and answering questions. His insistence on good handwriting and new activities such as enacting plays, debates, or using books outside the syllabus and then writing book reports were a refreshing upgrade to learning. He did sometimes come across as a bit harsh and rough, but he left in me the strong desire to read and learn that formed the foundation of so many other discoveries in my life. Thank you, Mr. Chaudhary.
Mr. Veena Prakash Chaudhary taught sincerity and innovative approach more than the language. We got the habit of reading new books from him. The book reports were very favorite with him. And for power of spoken expression, he introduced Dark Sun. Every foreign delegation coming to Navayug certainly used to visit our English class. Today, I understand how expression can be the identity of a person. Million thanks to Sir. With great regards, Rajiv Chaudhary, 1980 batch.
My memories of Mr. Chaudhary are that of traveling with him on the school bus. His personality and demeanor always impressed me. His daughter Rashmi was my batchmate, so I got to know him a bit more through her as well. Indira Sood.
ध्येय गुरुवर स्वर्गीय श्री जीवननाथ दर, संस्थापक प्रधानाचार्य के बहुआयामी सिख दर्शन में फले फूले नवयुग को विद्यासागर ही कहना होगा। उसकी व्यापकता गहनता के समक्ष विद्यालय शब्द बहुत ही हल्का महसूस होता है। नवयुग विद्यासागर मंथन दशकों से समाज व राष्ट्र को विभिन्न गुणों से भरपूर रत्न प्रदान करता आ रहा है। इन रत्नों की तलाश करने वाले पारखी गुरुजनों को हम सभी पर कोटि कोटि हैं। ललित कला में अत्यधिक रुचि होने के कारण तत्कालीन कला अध्यापिका स्वर्गीय श्रीमती रीता कोहली जी न सिर्फ मेरी अतिथि संजय राणा, सुधीर भगत व त्रिलोचन को भी अत्यधिक प्रिय थी। मेरे संग सुधीर भगत व त्रिलोचन ने भारत के प्रतिष्ठित ललित कला महाविद्यालय तिलक मार्ग नई दिल्ली से विज्ञापन कला में दिल्ली विश्वविद्यालय की 4 वर्षीय बैचलर ऑफ फाइन आर्ट्स की डिग्री प्राप्त की। मुझसे 1 वर्ष वरिष्ठ संजय राणा भी ललित कला महाविद्यालय की प्रवेश परीक्षा में उत्तीर्ण हो गए थे, किंतु कालांतर में उन्होंने IPS अधिकारी के रूप में भारतीय पुलिस सेवा का चयन किया। चित्रकला के प्रति मैम रीता कोहली जी का स्वच्छंद एवं मौलिक दृष्टिकोण ही वह गुरु मंत्र था जिसके फलस्वरूप हम वर्तमान में रचनात्मकता के
किसनवा गाता है मदन मुस्काता है, किसनवा गाता है मदन मुस्काता है, अब धरती है उसकी गाती सावनी हंसिया खुरपी।
The art is expression of soul, and we learnt this expression through real abundance. Colors were never in short supply, nor the paper was. Arts class was ultimate bliss, a real distresser. Mrs. Kohli hardly spoke and just let us loose in the class. The vibrancy of life was seen in what we painted. We were encouraged to participate in Shankar's on-the-spot painting competitions. I preserved the certificates of prizes won more carefully than one should have taken care of much higher recognitions later in life. She always stood out with her big goggles and big bindi. I learned to be me more than the art I learned from her. Om Shanti, Rajiv Chaudhary, 1980 batch.
Dear Mrs. Kohli, though I was not an artist, it was great that painting and art was made a compulsory class in the first few years. We enjoyed our painting sessions on the steps of the open area outside the art room. Your insistence on not leaving any part of the paper blank often resulted in quite thick paintings, if you could call them that. It was amazing to see, though, the wonderful art that was produced by budding artists at Navayug under your guidance. It adorned the walls of our schools so beautifully. And your free spirit and fun attitude towards life complemented your artistic soul perfectly.
सब कर्म निरत हो वेद भूल, निज कौशल मति चानुकूल, सब कर्म निरत हो वेद भूल, बंधुत्व भाव हो विश्वमूल, हो श्रेय प्रेम मिल
Dear Sir, even though I never had the privilege of being your student, you always remembered me and referred to me as Bitia. Your visit to my office was a thoughtful gesture and I am grateful for your kind blessings. Thank you. Best regards, Indira Sood.
We were fortunate that everyone was taught commerce at least for 1 year. Mr. Arora taught us the basics of accounting, including the double entry ledger system and about corporate financial documents. This came in quite handy when I started my own businesses, where these concepts were not intimidating due to this background. He also has the most kind and giving personality. Thank you, Mr. Arora.
सब कर्मों का हो उचित मान, श्रम उद्यम हो गौरव प्रदान। सब कर्मों का हो उचित मान, सब कंठों का हो एक गान, हो एक विश्व जीवन महान। गूंजे जय ध्वनि से आसमान, ध्वनि से आसमान। मानव मानव सब है समान, मानव मानव सब है समान। गूंजे जय ध्वनि से आसमान, गूंजे जय ध्वनि से आसमान। চলো রে, যদি তোর ডাক শুনে কেউ না আসে, তবে একলা চলো রে। একলা চলো, একলা চলো, একলা চলো, একলা চলো রে। একলা চলো, একলা চলো, একলা চলো, একলা চলো রে। যদি তোর ডাক শুনে কেউ না আসে, তবে একলা চলো রে। কথা না কই ওরে ওরে ও আবাদা, কেউ কথা না কই, যদি সবাই থাকে মুখ ফিরায়ে, সবাই করে ভয়, যদি সবাই থাকে মুখ ফিরায়ে, সবাই করে ভয়।
Mr. R.P. Sharma, the suave and ever-smiling teacher, made physics relatable and enjoyable. He played a big role in making physics my favorite subject and consequently engineering my career. The power of science and the scientific method still keeps me awestruck and is the basis of my thinking. I am fortunate to be able to make contributions to the engineering world, and Mr. R.P. Sharma was the starting block that catapulted me forward.
Dear R.P. Sharma sir, thank you for the engaging lessons in physics during my school days. Your unique teaching methods made learning enjoyable. It was a pleasant surprise to run into you after so many years in my neighborhood, and I enjoyed our chats on the chapel bus. Even after all these years, I recall the day when I was reading a book at the airport and you came up to me. I'm grateful for your reputation and memory of me after all those years. Thank you, sir. Best regards, Indira Prasad.
इन्हीं के सुरों में मुझे खोना है, इन्हीं के सुरों में मुझे खोना है। मीठी सी हवा है जहाँ, फूलों की सभा है जहाँ, वही धूल मेरे लिए सोना है। मीठी सी हवा है जहाँ, फूलों की सभा है जहाँ, वही धूल मेरे लिए सोना है।
the knowledge of periodic table would never have been so complete if not learned from Mr. Subhash Sahay. It was fun playing with molecular formulas. Drawing glucose structure was favorite hobby, besides playing with chemicals in lab. I still remember enjoying doing jumping sodium experiment in lab. And of course, he taught us to walk. Parade I mean. Due to that, I went on to command school parade and weekly ad hoc NCC classes where we got banana and fruity. A strict disciplinarian, Fauji salute. Rajiv Chaudhary, 1980 batch.
Mr. Sahay was a terror of a teacher, but in a good way. His amazingly well-organized chemistry lab was a wonder house of learning. He brought great discipline to both the subject as well as to so many other activities he was involved in organizing around the school. From balancing chemical equations to fruity smells of esters, titrations to Bunsen burners, chemistry was a series of exciting avenues. He introduced us to great adventures of chemistry, but we learned from our mistakes too. I will never forget the mess created by the Gobar gas plant. Yes, you heard it right. Gobar gas plant experiment we took to the Nehru Science Exhibition when we forgot to vent it properly.
मीठी सी हवा है जहाँ फूलों की सबा है जहाँ वही धूल मेरे लिए सोना है। मीठी सी हवा है जहाँ फूलों की सबा है जहाँ वही धूल मेरे लिए सोना है। गंगा और गोदावरी देश की है आसावरी, गंगा और गोदावरी देश की है आसावरी, इन्हीं के सुरों में मुझे खोना है, इन्हीं के सुरों में मुझे खोना है। मीठी सी हवा है जहाँ फूलों की सभा है जहाँ वही धूल मेरे लिए सोना है। मीठी सी हवा है जहाँ फूलों की सभा वही धूल मेरे लिए सोना है। अंजुरी में धूप लिए खड़ा है दिवस का विहान जो, दिवस का विहान जो। अंजुरी में धूप लिए खड़ा है।
Dear Mr. Kapoor, I did attend a few classes with you, but you left school too early and I did not get a chance to study economics with you. We had almost a dozen teachers for the subject in a short span, but no one could be as exceptional as you were. Thank you, sir, for igniting my interest in the subject economics. I truly enjoyed the subject. Best regards, Indira Sood.
चूंकि मुझे और बड़ा होना है। मीठी सी हवा है जहाँ फूलों की सभा है जहाँ वही धूल मेरे लिए सोना है। पूरब हो या पश्चिम हो, उत्तर हो या दक्षिण हो, पूरब हो या पश्चिम हो, उत्तर हो या दक्षिण हो, भारत की आरती संजोना है, भारत की आरती।
Dear Bhatnagar sir, I recall your maths class from my early school years. You always presented us with the most challenging questions in such a relaxed manner. It was always enjoyable to take up the challenge you set for us. Regards, Indira Sood.
वही धूल मेरे लिए सोना है। যদি তোর ডাক শুনে কেউ না যদি তোর ডাক শুনে কেউ না আসে, তবে একলা চলো রে, একলা চলো, একলা চলো, একলা চলো, একলা চলো রে, একলা চলো, একলা চলো, একলা চলো, একলা চলো রে, যদি তোর ডাক শুনে কেউ না আসে, তবে একলা চলো রে।
Dear Dr. Singh, I remember you for coming to our section C, as a substitute teacher and teaching us lessons from the book Parimal, as well as letting us do Hindi poetry and Takshri. We sometimes gave you a very hard time, but you were always so graceful.
Today I attribute my written and spoken expression to Navayug. I bow my head to Dr. Bharat Singh for teaching us Hindi in most saral or sahaj manner. He introduced us to read best Hindi writers from Premchand, Ramdhari Singh Dinkar, Nirala, Ram Vriksh Benipuri, Mahadevi Verma, Acharya Chatur Sen, etc. Rashmi Rathi and Vayam Rakshama are my all-time favorite. We become what we read. With immense gratitude and sincerest regards, Rajiv Chaudhary, 1980 batch.
त्वमेकं शरण्यं त्वमेकं वरेण्यं त्वमेकं जगत्पालकं स्वप्रकाशं त्वमेकं जगत्कर्त्री पात्री प्रहर्त्री त्वमेकं परं निश्चलं निर्विकल्पं सर्वे सुखिनः सन्तु सर्वे सन्तु निरामया सर्वे भद्राणि। अब धरती है उसकी जो धरती में बोए पसीना, अब धरती है उसकी जो धरती में बोए पसीना। बहुत जिए गैरों के लिए अब देश के लिए है जीना। ओ भैया रे ओ साथी रे, ओ भैया रे ओ साथी रे, किसनवा गाता है गगन मुस्काता है, किसनवा गाता भक्ति है उसकी।
शंका है भगवान जाग उठा,
खेतों और खलिहानों में, खेतों और खलिहानों में
नया जोश है नया रंग है।
अब बेखौफ किसानों में, अब बेखौफ किसानों में हमने लाखों फूल खिलाए मेहनत से पाषाणों में। नई जागृति नई जिंदगी लाए हैं वीरानों में। हम धरती के लाल चल रहे आज तान कर सीना, हम धरती के लाल चल रहे आज तान।
Dear Mr. Verma, you were one of the most simple and humble teacher in the school. I know we all troubled you a lot in the class and you kept your patience. Your dedication to helping us understand the basic of English language was truly inspiring, and I will always remember the skills you taught me. Regards, Indira Yadav.
Mr. Mathur was our vice principal under Mr. Dar, and he would come to teach us maths as a substitute teacher when the regular teacher was absent. Who can forget his perfect circles drawn freehand on the board and his mastery on any topic that was underway in the class that he had to pick up and teach with no notice.
Dear Chungat ma'am, having you as my English teacher during my 11th and 12th grade was a stroke of luck. Your enthusiasm for teaching and your ability to patiently guide your students made each class both informative and enjoyable. Under your guidance, I discovered my appreciation for literature. I consider myself fortunate to have remained in contact with you and continue to learn from you to this day. I enjoy your shares of the nature captured through your camera lens and some great music. Regards, Indira Yadav.
Respected Madam Chulkut, it was always great to learn from you. But for one thing, you have been with me throughout in the journey of life. When we were leaving the school in the year 1982, I requested for your autograph. What did you write at that time is a treasure for me. You said, I appreciate your steadfastness and the courage to never give up. Open out a little more. You will find the world a happier place, I am sure. Honestly speaking, madam, the moments came in life when I was in distress and finding no way out. At that time, when I close my eyes, I find you whispering that you appreciate my courage to never give up. I stand up and start my journey bravely again. It's all because of you, madam. Thanks for believing me and giving me the confidence. Thank you very much.
बोल लाले रुमझुमा, हाय मोती मारूं मोती मारूं झुमा। चांद जैसी रे को लाग्यो रे बदरिया पानी, चांद जैसी रे को लाग्यो रे बदरिया पानी।
मैं बोलूनी भूलना शकनी तेरी हंसिया बानी, मैं बोलूनी भूलना शकनी तेरी हंसिया बानी।
तेरी हंसनिया बानी केरी रुमझुमा, हाय मोती मारूं झुमा, हाय मोती मारूं झुमा। तेरी हंसनिया बानी केरी रुमझुमा, हाय मोती मारूं झुमा, हाय मोती मारूं झुमा। नीले दारो बोल लाली रुमझुमा, हाय मोती मारूं झुमा, हाय मोती मारूं झुमा। अल्मोड़ा का लाल बाजारो लाल माटी की सीढ़ी, अल्मोड़ा का लाल बाजारो लाल माटी की सीढ़ी।
अंगूठों की लाल सिंगोड़ी में हुलूड़ी चूड़ी,
तेरी रुमझुमा, हाय मोती मारूं झुमा, हाय मोती मारूं झुमा, चूड़ी की झनकार तेरी रुमझुमा, हाय मोती मारूं झुमा, हाय मोती मारूं झुमा, पीले धारो बोल लाली रुमझुमा, हाय मोती मारूं झुमा, 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 हाय मोती मारूं झुमा.
Was my best subject. Mr. Ohri made it bestest. Drawing paramecium, amoeba, hydra was a great pastime, and of course, when on lab looking at various objects through microscope. I also represented school in science exhibition. Best was functioning of frog's heart in ringer solution. I understand human anatomy quite well because of great lessons by Mr. Ohri. I salute. Rajiv Chaudhary, 1980 batch.
The fourth pillar of my science education, besides maths, physics, and chemistry, was of course biology. The wonders of plants and animals were unleashed upon us by Mr. Ohri. His beautiful diagrams on the board inspired us to draw the most elaborate amoebas and parameciums. Anyone remember how he would knock out a frog for dissection if he ran out of chloroform? Think.
Dear Ghosh ma'am, thank you for being an amazing geography teacher and for being a positive influence in my life. Each time I travel and visit a new place, I'm reminded of you and our learnings in the class. You also taught me the value of developing a close bond with one's own parents. Best regards, Indira Yadav.
Thank you, ma'am, for being dedicated and passionate about teaching us. We can never repay you for your remarkable contribution to our growth and development. This is Nutan Pokhriyal from 1998 batch. Dear Shobha Sood ma'am, history was once a subject that I dreaded.
due to my difficulty in retaining dates. However, you made the subject engaging, and I was captivated as you taught us about the Industrial Revolution. I recall your smooth and swift movements between classes with ease. Please keep inspiring and spreading good cheer. Regards, Indira Sood.
नहीं डर किसी का आज, नहीं भय किसी का आज, नहीं डर किसी का आज के दिन। ओ मन में है विश्वास, पूरा है विश्वास, नहीं डर किसी का आज के दिन। हम चलेंगे साथ साथ, डाले हाथों में हाथ, हम चलेंगे साथ साथ एक दिन। ओ मन में है विश्वास, पूरा है विश्वास, हम चलेंगे साथ साथ एक दिन।
Being a science student, I had only 3 years of history from Mrs. Sood, but that created a lifelong interest in understanding the growth of human civilization and how the history of a nation creates its present imprint. Her lessons on Indian and world history left permanent memories that even today surface when I'm traveling to the lands we only studied about, like parts of India, France, Italy, Greece, and many more. People generally think history to be boring, but Mrs. Sood taught us so well. She gave us such great lessons that we still remember her teachings long after we have left school.
हम होंगे कामयाब एक दिन। आम के पत्ते लंबे लंबे, बड़ के पत्ते चाकर, ऐसन भर देला गौरा मोछ दाढ़ी पाकर। हे आम के पत्ते लंबे लंबे, बड़ के पत्ते चाकर, ऐसन भर देला गौरा मोछ दाढ़ी पाकर। हरे हाय हरे हाय, हरे हाय हरे हाय, हाय रे हाय रे हाय रे। हे आम के पत्ते लंबे लंबे, बड़ के पत्ते चाकर, ऐसन भर देला गौरा मोछ दाढ़ी पाकर। हे आम के पत्ते लंबे लंबे, बड़ के पत्ते चाकर, ऐसन भर देला गौरा मोछ दाढ़ी पाकर। हरे हाय हरे हाय, हरे हाय हरे हाय, हाय रे हाय रे हाय रे। रीता बाजा खड़का लागी, नीला रंग रीता बाजा खड़का लागी। करता तोरण हाहस कालर की बारा लागी, करता तोरण हाहस कालर की बारा लागी। नीला रंग रीता बाजा खड़का लागी, नीला रंग रीता बाजा खड़का लागी। हरे हाय हरे हाय, हरे हाय हरे हाय, हाय रे हाय रे हाय रे। हे आम के पत्ते लंबे लंबे, बड़ के पत्ते चाकर, ऐसन भर देला गौरा मोछ दाढ़ी पाकर। हे आम के पत्ते लंबे लंबे, बड़ के पत्ते चाकर, ऐसन भर देला गौरा मोछ दाढ़ी पाकर।
Mr. Srivastava introduced us to Bhugol and injected a sense of inquisitiveness to explore unique places through our atlas. He was a fatherly figure with extremely cool disposition. His handwriting was an inspiration to me and to most of us. I felt very happy when he gave me the task of writing daily news on school notice board. With immense regard and lots of love, Rajiv Chaudhary, 1980 batch.
Dear Srivastava sir, By entrusting me with the task of measuring daily rainfall through the installation of an instrument in the school playground, you sparked my even greater interest in geography lessons. Thank you for imparting your knowledge in the most incredible manner. Regards, Indira Yadav.
आम के पत्ते लंबे लंबे बड़ के पत्ते चाकर ऐसन बर बेला गोरा मोछ दाढ़ी पाकल हे आम के पत्ते लंबे लंबे बड़ के पत्ते चाकर ऐसन बर बेला गोरा मोछ दाढ़ी पाकल
हरे हाय हरे हाय हरे हाय हरे हाय हाय रे हाय रे हाय रे
हरे हाय हरे हाय हरे हाय हरे हाय हाय रे हाय रे हाय रे
हरे हाय हरे हाय हरे हाय हरे हाय हाय रे हाय रे हाय रे हाय रे हाय रे हाय रे वरदे 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 वीणा वादिनी वरदे
Though I was never a great singer or musician, Mrs. Wadhera created the basis of so many musical memories in my brain. And as an MC role that I was often given at school functions, I was fortunate to be close to her and listen to musical practices very often. The songs in the assembly, prayers before food, dances at annual days still ring in my head, and often I break into these songs while driving, much to my children's grief. Thank you for the memories, ma'am.
काट अंधूर के बंधन सर जननी ज्योतिर्मय निर्झर महाजन ज्योतिर्मय निर्झर कलुष भेद तम हर प्रकाश भर कलुष भेद तम हर प्रकाश भर जगमग जग कर दे वीणा वादिनी वरदे 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 वीणा वादिनी वरदे
Dear Wadhera ma'am, thank you for not only teaching us music from across the regions during school days, but also for all your guidance and support for making of Navayug ke Tarane. Best regards, Indira Yadav.
जलद मंत्र रव
नव नभ के नव विहग वृंद को
नव नभ के नव विहग वृंद को
नव पर नव स्वर दे वीणा वादिनी वरदे 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 ध्वनि से आसमान गूंजे, जय ध्वनि से आसमान।
Although I never had the privilege of being taught by Mrs. Kamini Soni, that doesn't prevent her from radiating love and warmth. Thank you, ma'am, for all that you do. Indira Gulati Sood, 83.
निज कौशल मति चानुकूल, सब कर्म निरत हो वेद भूल। बंधुत्व भाव हो विश्व मूल, हो श्रेय प्रेय मिल एक गान गूंजे, जय ध्वनि से आसमान।
Dear Prasad ma'am, as students, we were captivated by the tales you shared from your travels abroad, including your experiences in Russia and UK among others. We still eagerly await learning more about your childhood and student years. It's a privilege to have been one of your students. Indira Gulati Sood.
ध्वनि से आसमान श्रम उद्यम हो गौरव प्रधान, सब कर्मों का हो उचित मान। श्रम उद्यम हो गौरव प्रधान, सब कर्मों का हो उचित मान। सब कंठों का हो एक गान, हो एक विश्व जीवन महान गूंजे, जय ध्वनि से आसमान गूंजे, जय ध्वनि से आसमान। मानव मानव सब है